Hi there. Oh, no, not again. Oh, I think I lost it. Whew. All right. Hey, Geometry, good to see you. You're a little fuzzy. Why are you... Oh, wait, no, that's better. That's better. All right. You're much more in focus now. Test day is upon us. We are through with that unit, and we are ready to move on. So we are going to give you a chance to just show off, pour all that knowledge back out that have been feeding into you this last month or two. And here's your opportunity. So I do want to go over the test. I'm going to show you the problems, kind of give you the instructions, so that way you get there. Hopefully that won't slow you up because you're looking at it and say, oh, that's right. He said on this one, this is what we're doing. But it's a lot like the review. If you did well in the review, if you understood what I did on the review, then you'll be great. And if you're still confused about some of it, you might go back and watch that again. And then if you're still confused, get online. Mr. Smith and I, we're both online. You can email us if we're not online. Say, hey, I need some help with this. We'll help you out before you take the test. Don't wait till you take the test and say, oh, man, that's right. I still don't know this. Come on, guys. We're going to start out. I'm going to show you the test. Hey, there we go. All right, our end of unit test. Now, of course, we're going to start out, just because it is a test, put a reminder of that academic integrity policy on there. I understand that it's very different at home. You have the opportunity to get help with a lot of things. All these assignments, if you're not understanding, I want you to get help. I want you to check with me and Mrs. Smith. I want you to see if your brother or sister knows about this, your parent, something. Look something up. Go to Khan Academy or something. Try to find somewhere that can explain things you can understand it, because I want you to be able to learn the material. And it's a little different online without being able to just raise your hand and ask a question, right? So I want you to do that. I want you to go back and do those assignments that you didn't do well on. Get the material, understand it better, go back and redo those. But this is a test. This is where I want to see what you know. Not what your brother or sister knows, not what your parents know, not what your friend knows that you're texting when you're doing your homework sometimes. That's great. I want to know what you know. I don't know what Google knows. I don't care what PhotoMath knows. I know they know how to do a lot of this. But I also know that the way to do that is not anything we've studied, and you're going to give me some weird answer that's copied and pasted. And yes, every time you copy and paste an answer, the website will tell me this answer contains copied and pasted parts. So I don't want to see copied and pasted parts. I want you to type in your answer. So if you give me something weird, I'll know it's not necessarily from you, unless you can show me where you learned something earlier. So this is on your honor. If you have any honor at all, you'll show me your work. And that's what this is saying, that you understand what is cheating and what's not cheating. So this will be at the beginning of the test. That's just a standard thing. And then we'll go to the reference chart. Oh, by the way, I want to point out, when you see this symbol, it says click to hear the statement read aloud. All right, click to hear this read aloud. On every page for this exam, there will be a button over here, and it's over there with all your answers. There's a button at the top, and if you click that, I will read the question to you. That can help a lot of times. If you are doing something and you go to the next problem and it's a little different, and you're like, what's this asking me? Maybe if you hear it out loud, it's like, oh yeah, I got it. Okay, then you can do it. So I don't want you to get stuck because you get confused about what it's asking. I want you to understand that. And so if having it read aloud helps you to understand that, go for it. That button's there. You don't have to. It's just an option for you. So you'll have the reference chart for this unit. It has the online calculator. This is the Desmos.com scientific. That's not graphing. This is where you can punch in like our regular calculators we're having in class. This has an opportunity for that. And I also have that link on our Google Classroom, so you can have that tab to use if you need a calculator. Circle, equation of a circle is right there. All right, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared, where hk is the center of the circle, and then, of course, r squared, r is the radius. We have the point slope form of an equation, and it's right here. I've got a box around it. Y minus k equals m x minus h. Now, we are more familiar with the slope intercept, and if it has you write an equation line on assignment or test, you can use either one depending on which one's easier for that problem. Sometimes it's easier for this, sometimes it's easier for this. And this reminds you lines are parallel if and only if. They have equal slopes. The slopes are exactly the same. And this is perpendicular if and only if opposite reciprocals. 3/4, 4/3. Positive, minus, right? One has to be positive, one has to be minus. So, let me show you the problems and just kind of go over it real quick. If you have to look at the review, this shouldn't look a whole lot different to you. I tried to do very, very similar stuff. Line M is represented by the equation. Here is line M, and it is obviously in the point slope equation form, not the y equals mx plus b. So this gives you the point and the slope. And you're supposed to select all. Look at that red lettering, all. That means more than one. All equations that represent lines perpendicular. It's in red, it's underlined. Perpendicular. Not the same line. Shouldn't look the same. Should look perpendicular, right? And then here are the 6 lines you're choosing from. So tell me all of the ones that are perpendicular to that one there. Let's go to this one here. This image shows this circle. Center 4, 6, and it's marked for you on the page. Radius of 10. So here is the equation for that circle. And then select all. I've circled this all again. All points that lie on the circle. So here are 5 different points. And I don't have the grid on there. I have the XY axis, but not the grid. So looking at a point like 13, 10, boy, that could be some guessing if you're just trying to tell if it's on the circle. But you do have the equation. So you should be able to know for sure, without guessing, whether or not it's on the circle. So tell me which ones of those are on the circle. All right, next one. I've written this out too. Find the center and radius of the circle given by this equation. And it has x squared minus 10x plus y squared plus 6y minus 30 equals 0. This is obviously not this. This is the equation of the circle that we have on the reference page. X minus something squared plus y minus something squared equals r squared. This has this x squared, has this y squared, and has a constant. Looks like you're going to need to complete the square or something there. It doesn't give you in this form. So you would need to find out what number that would be using the equation up there and figure out what the radius is, because you don't have all that information either. But you can do that, especially if you watch the review and you saw what I was doing and understand those steps. All right, find the point, the partition segment AB in a 2-to-1 ratio. A to B, 2 to 1. All right, here's AB. Where's the point? You're just giving me a point. Your answer should look like a point. What is the XY point that partitions that in a 2-to-1 ratio? A to B, 2 to 1. Notice all of these have this on the side where you can click and hear that question read aloud. So, last page. Woo. This shows quadrilateral. This image is ABCD. Here it is on a graph. Prove that quadrilateral ABCD is a square. You must show work to receive full credit. Prove it's a square. Write enough in there to let me know you know it's a square. I'll do one of those show your work boxes because you need to do some calculations of some sort. Think about what is required for something to be a square. I know we had a problem like that before, and a lot of you said on the review where we was talking about this, you said, well, it needs to be 2 sets of parallel sides and 90-degree angles. Well, you also just described a rectangle because it has 2 sets of parallel sides and it has 90-degree angles. So that doesn't necessarily mean it's a square. What does it mean specifically to be a square? That's what you need to be able to prove. You need to be able to show me that somehow. Looking at this, you know, if you're going to talk about these angles, you need to be able to show those angles using slopes, right? If you're going to talk about this being the same length as this, you need to be able to tell how long it is. Different things like that. If you're going to show it's parallel, slopes would be showing that. Whatever you're showing me, make sure that you're showing me it's a square, not just a rectangle or a parallelogram, but specifically a square. And then after you do that, find the perimeter. So the perimeter, you're going to need to know how long the sides are and the area. So the area, you're also going to need to know how long the sides are on that. So that's it. That's all there is. If you have questions, if you don't understand part of this, before you take the test, hop online, come to my chat page, come to Miss Smith's chat room, either one. Or if we're not online, email us, say, hey, I got some things I need cleared up. Do that before you take the test, because I want you to do your best. I want to really see what you know on there. So if anyone knows of a hairdresser that makes house calls too, that might be good too. It's starting to get a little shaggy around here, but we'll get through it. Hey, do work you can be proud of. We'll see you next week.